Kris Jenner is clearly fed up with all the speculation, claiming she secretly regrets her dramatic new look. She even jumped onto Khloé's podcast to finally respond to the non-stop headlines and the wild rumors surrounding who Khloé Kardashian's real father supposedly is. For years, people online have pushed the theory that Khloé is not actually Robert Kardashian's biological daughter, and that Kris's former hairstylist could be her real dad. They've spent years trying to shut those rumors down, but now fans think every new interview from Kris Jenner is only adding more fuel to the fire. Right now, Kris Jenner is absolutely spiraling after people started claiming she secretly regrets her facelift and all the cosmetic work she recently had done. She's calling the rumors completely false, but insiders say she is beyond furious that fans keep talking about her appearance online. If I ever crossed paths with Kris Jenner, trust me, I would stay on my absolute best behavior, because everyone I've spoken to who's worked around the Kardashians says Kris has a very intense energy behind the scenes. Let's just say she does not seem like the kind of person you'd ever want to upset. And apparently what pushed her over the edge was people saying her face was starting to drop after the surgery. You already know her image means everything to her, especially after reportedly spending around $100,000 on the entire transformation. Personally, I do think her face looks a little different now compared to when we first saw the results. Not even trying to throw shade, but that honestly happens during recovery after procedures like this. At first, she still looked super swollen and everything appeared pulled really tight. But as time passed, gravity started doing what gravity always does, and people online definitely noticed the change.
For example, lately, it's this headline about my facelift, which is really, truly driving me crazy.
Which part? And what's the headline?
Well, the headline right now is that I hate my facelift, and I'm furious at my doctor, Stephen Levine, which couldn't be further from the truth. It's a flat out lie. I love my facelift. I adore my doctor. I never in a million years was going to talk about doing a facelift. I didn't bring this to anybody's attention. I didn't post a picture and say, oh my God, guys, look at my facelift. Don't I look great? I was minding my own business. There was one doctor that posted a photo of me and did a live or, a taped video with the pointer and said, see right here, Kris has had 3 rhinoplasties and I've never had my nose done. And Stephen didn't go into this with me, like my facelift, and say, I'm going to do every little detail of her face. The goal was to do a beautiful lift and give me a refresh and do a beautiful jawline, which I achieved. And then people just started taking credit for it. And I was like, no, not on my watch. This is not cool.
Seeing a Kardashian actually admit they just want to feel good about themselves is honestly kind of refreshing for once. At the end of the day, I really think Kris needs to ease up on herself a little and stop chasing this impossible standard. She's 70 years old. She does not need to compete with Kim or look 25 forever. But this podcast appearance happened right after Kris got photographed in public without the full Kardashian glam squad working overtime. So now people are seeing more unfiltered photos of her in real life, and fans online are starting to question the difference. I mean, we already know Khloé's podcast uses some pretty intense filters. Kris keeps saying she chose to get the facelift because it made her feel confident and like the best version of herself. But if you watch that recent clip closely, she honestly did not seem very happy or comfortable talking about it. And once you start reading the Reddit comments, things get even messier because people are going in hard about the facelift rumors. One person wrote, I can't believe how quickly Kris Jenner's facelift started dropping. Another commenter said, I don't know what to think anymore, but she kind of created this herself by constantly posting heavily edited photos and letting people believe those images were the actual facelift results. And honestly, that's a fair point. I mean, their pictures and videos are filtered so heavily at this point that I genuinely think they start believing that edited version is reality. Then someone else added, I'm not making fun of her actual face, maybe the editing a little, but how many people rushed to surgeons thinking those results were real and achievable? That first picture was never real because it was
Some people are hypothesizing that this anonymous source could be an actual plastic surgeon who performs the deep plane facelift. Now it's reported that Kris Jenner's plastic surgeon, Dr. Stephen Levine, performs a different type of facelift called a lateral mastectomy. And there's a belief that this story could have been planted by a plastic surgeon trying to make Dr. Stephen Levine and this operation look bad. The truth is, there are several plastic surgeons who specialize in the deep plane facelift who are stating that Kris Jenner should have had that done because then her results would have lasted longer. So what does the science say? Well, a recent study published in the Journal of Facial Plastic Surgery and Aesthetic Medicine found that the average deep plane facelift lasts just over 10 years. And this is very similar to the longevity of a SMAS facelift. So is Kris Jenner caught in the middle of a beef between deep plane facelift surgeons and SMAS facelift surgeons? If so, the whole thing is just silly. You can get a great long-lasting result with a deep plane facelift and with a SMAS facelift. The longevity of the results depends on so many factors other than the type of facelift that's performed. It's the experience of the surgeon, the quality of the tissues, the age of the patient.
One commenter wrote, "Honestly, I don't even see much of a difference between how she looks now versus back in 2023. Their friend apparently saw Kris in person out in LA and said she looked pretty normal for someone her age once all the filters and glam were stripped away. They even claimed she didn't look nearly as impressive as you would expect after undergoing that much cosmetic work. And honestly, imagine spending all that money dealing with the painful recovery and only ending up looking maybe 5% different, because I would personally be furious." But then another person jumped in, saying the facelift actually has not fallen at all. They argued that this is simply what a well-done facelift realistically looks like on a 70-year-old woman, and people are confusing edited Instagram photos with reality.
You know what, Kris? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. We tried to tell you there was no need to hide this gorgeous $250,000 facelift behind layers and layers of Photoshop. It took us a couple of months to catch up, not us personally, because we called it from the beginning, but most of what we were seeing after this amazing facelift was Photoshopped. And now that we see the real Getty images and videos of how she looks like a gorgeous 70-year-old woman. She played herself with all of this Photoshop, and it left her.
During that same interview, Kris also appeared ready to finally respond to all the non-stop speculation surrounding Khloé Kardashian's biological father. Honestly, the entire podcast episode felt like Kris saw it as the perfect moment to unload about every rumor that's been bothering her lately. She started touching on several topics that clearly hit a nerve behind the scenes. And one of the biggest controversies, of course, is the long-running claim that Robert Kardashian may not actually be Khloé's biological father, which a lot of people online still fully believe. At this point, many fans think they already know exactly who Khloé's real father could be. And what's interesting is how the conversation always gets redirected toward the O.J. Simpson rumors when that's probably not even the person people are really talking about. O.J. Simpson has been dragged into this theory for years, but there's supposedly another man connected to the rumors that people rarely bring up publicly. Instead, the family leans into the whole Khloé is not O.J.'s daughter narrative because it gives them an easy way to shut the conversation down and point back to Robert Kardashian. But according to people following this story closely, that explanation ignores the third person whose name keeps quietly circulating behind the scenes.
For us, it's like, no, but it's like age is just a number.
When I date someone 25 years older than me,
Yeah.
I can?
Yeah.
Huh.
As long as you love him and he's good to you and it works and he's your person, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't always decide who your person's going to be. You just don't know. He's just going to come one day and you don't know what shape or size or age or any of it. It's going to be a surprise. I promise.
Okay.
He's coming. He's coming.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't plan that. You don't plan like who you're going to fall in love with or maybe who you're going to end up with in life. It just happens.
Okay. Anything else that bothers you?
Anything else that bothers me? Oh, maybe who your dad is.
Okay.
That's
That's long gone.
I know. Well, it's all going to be long gone one day. But the things that the media or people get fixated on is fascinating because it's so ridiculous, especially since you look exactly like both of your grandmothers. Sorry, but you do.
Do you get frustrated that there's constantly breakup rumors about you and Corey?
Not anymore. I mean, did it bother me at the time? I think it probably bothered maybe him more than it bothered me. I don't know. You'd have to ask Corey. Why don't you get him in here on this
Corey would
couch?
say two
This
words.
therapist couch.
To get Corey on here, he would say
Could you
two
imagine?
words.
Yeah.
He wouldn't talk.
No.
You
You would have 60 minutes of silence.
Yeah, he won't talk.
I got a text from Lori Loughlin, and
She
she
looks great.
doesn't she look beautiful?
Amazing. Well, she's so pretty.
She's beautiful on the inside too.
She really is. She's
Such a nice girl.
I'm so mad she doesn't live near us anymore.
I know. She wrote me yesterday or last night, and she said she didn't even say anything. She just sent me an article that said I was really furious because her facelift looks better than mine. And I'm thinking, where do people come up with this stuff? And I think just pitting people against each other, especially women against each other, when we should all really be building each other up.
The rumor that O.J. Simpson is Khloé's father has been floating around the internet for years at this point. Personally, I've never really believed that theory. And honestly, I think people use it to distract from the bigger conversation about whether Robert Kardashian was actually her biological father or not. It almost feels like they lean into the wildest version of the rumor, so anyone questioning things starts looking crazy or uninformed. Ever since my book came out, people started looking at this situation a whole lot differently.
I always thought Kris was a cute girl. She was really nice. But, I was dating supermodels.
You know the rumor.
But the rumor ain't true. It's not even nowhere close to being true.
Some people think like you might be Khloé Kardashian's real dad.
No, I'm not.
Because like Kim's like 5'5", Kourtney's like 5'3", and then Khloé's like
I've
6'2".
seen the family say something about a cook or something, but I don't know.